Okay. Southbound Knott Avenue in Buena Park. Boy, that is
we do
scary.
have Bruce Thomas back. And
He's
Bruce,
back?
so you've been watching this.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you know, at some point, the watch commander and even the field supervisor involved in this pursuit are going to take into account the suspect's actions and say, you know what, this guy is endangering way too many lives. So you know what, let's back off. Let's go into a surveillance mode. The helicopter will track him, and we'll actually take him when he ends and slows down or crashes, unfortunately, and then we'll end this in a safe manner.
Oh, gosh. Now you can see that woman's legs in the passenger seat. Looked like she was sort of shaking a bit, but...
Yeah, I wonder if you're right, Ellen, if she is just bracing for impact because of his really erratic behavior, extremely dangerous driving. I'm sorry, Melissa's our producer. What did you say, Melissa? Did you give us a locator? And then we got
we had a little problem with our but we're still in Buena Park on the eastbound. I believe you said 91. And we're struggling to get that signal back. But what a dangerous pursuit. We've seen this guy going through all kinds of surface streets on the wrong side of the road with that woman in the car seat.
Bear with us. We're going to get that signal back. But extremely dangerous driving that we have been watching. I think we got that signal coming up right here. So we fixed it. So we're going to pop that up for you right now. Let's get our bearings here. There he is. He's about to take a right there at 9th and Beach in Buena Park. He is in that bluish Honda Accord. Okay, there's maybe you can see the passenger. You see that passenger on the right-hand side? Those are her legs that seem to be up and braced against the dash. And he is obviously driving right now. And in the past, we've seen them tangled up, him yelling at her. Okay, so he is behind. There he is. He's in the middle lane right there. That's the vehicle. You don't see a police car behind him because it looks like that they have pulled off trying to get him to calm down. His driving has been so incredibly dangerous that they might be just tracking him via a helicopter and trying to keep up with him. Dave Coons joins us right now. Dave's a car specialist. And Dave, what are your thoughts on this Honda that he's in?
Well, unfortunately for police, these are very reliable cars. That's an older model Honda Accord, and as people who own them will tell you, they tend to go forever. The key question is how much fuel is on board, as we always ask in these pursuits. But pretty durable car. We saw him hopping curbs. He's been hitting things. It's still going. I don't see any tire damage. I don't know if they've done a spike strip. I wasn't watching the whole.
We don't. I don't think there is any car.
Did a sudden U-turn there.
Look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 police units behind him now. They're on Western in Buena Park. The police officers, the Southgate police, they are behind him again. So they've re-engaged this pursuit. There is a great shot of his passenger with her legs braced up against the dash. And we don't know if he has been violent to her inside that car, but this is a domestic violence suspect in this pursuit. And Dave, back to you. It does seem this car, granted, Hondas aren't known for their speed and their power, but this car can accelerate.
Well, you'd be surprised. That generation of Honda, if I can tell the current generation, you could get it with a V6 engine. They were actually pretty powerful. Also, where he is, surface streets, that car is very maneuverable. Does a lot of tight turning radius if you need it. I know they were on the freeway earlier, but it's an environment where this car, if the guy knows what he's doing and has driving skills, it can actually do pretty well. Front-wheel drive, if he takes corners too sharp, it can do what's known as understeer and kind of overshoot the turn a little bit, but it looks like he's under control and he's not going that fast, but so far it looks like the car is holding up pretty well.
Right now he's going on southbound Beach Boulevard, and let's see what he does after this
there he is.
Overpass. There he is. You know, he has stopped at traffic a couple times, and that woman could have theoretically jumped out. So it makes you wonder, like, what's going on in her mind as well.
I mean, but maybe not. I mean, he might be holding her, or maybe it's just not enough time for her to get out of the car.
Yeah.
But Bruce Thomas is with us as well, and he is watching this behavior. Bruce, what are your thoughts?
Well, you know, not only do you have a domestic violence case, whether it's a felony or a suspect, and I believe they're chasing a felony, but you possibly are adding kidnapping or false imprisonment charges too. So another higher grade felony. So that's why the pursuit's going to continue. It does look like he's calmed down a little bit, maybe not as agitated, but ultimately, if he stays in the same area, I would think that the mutual aid agencies would possibly look for a spike strip or maybe deploy a pit maneuver.
Right. So he's still in Buena Park, Bruce. So, yeah, that's a good sign. If he stays in Buena Park, maybe they can somehow anticipate where he's going to go and have somebody prepared to do a spike strip. There he is. He's
apparently
right
near Knott's Berry Farm right now.
Oh, okay. Knott's Berry Farm, okay.
But he was driving on the wrong side of the road again, but now he's back to his side.
Mm-hmm. So far, we don't believe he's hit any vehicles. We have seen him go up on the sidewalk, go through a chain link fence, go through yards, grass, and definitely what's most disturbing, he's been going on the absolute wrong side of the road into oncoming traffic.
Go ahead, Dave.
Just taking a look at the rear of this car now, I see a single exhaust pipe, which tells me it's not the V6 Accord. Kind of a trivial matter because it can still do the kind of speeds it needs to do, but it's not the hotter version, if you will, of that Accord, because that would have two tailpipes on it if it's a V6.
Four-cylinder.
Yeah, so this is the four-cylinder, probably an automatic transmission, and if it's been well maintained, it probably has the ability to keep going and going and going, and again, as we said earlier, depends on the fuel capacity.
Yeah, and I'm not the kind of commercial Honda would appreciate, but it does speak to those those cars are so reliable.
But as cars go, go ahead, Bruce.
Interject this. I was going to say, it seems like the police or the chasing agency, whether it be Buena Park now or still Southgate, has backed off greatly from the suspect. At least the shots from Air 7 HD are showing that. So maybe they're realizing, you know what, let's not put as much pressure on the guy. Let's let him decompress a little bit.
So they just keep an eye on him, kind of track him, figure out where he is.
Yeah, and you've got mutual aid from the LA County Sheriff, so they've got their airship up, who's tracking this guy also and calling out the streets he's on. So at this point, there's really not needed to get right up on top of him and kind of pressure him and pressure the suspect who's already under a lot of pressure.
Right. Public safety is the number one here, and you don't want him to get so hyped up that he hurts or kills innocent victims in this situation. There he is in oncoming lanes. Again, it's tough to see, but he's behind that tree. There he is sneaking through the light. And so they've backed off, but they will track him via the air. Of course, Bruce, it's a tough decision for law enforcement to make because if that is, in fact, a victim with him in that car, she's in danger, and it puts them out of position to make a quick move on him if he does stop or something violent happens.
Yes, it does. You're 100% right on that but as you said earlier, the most important thing in a pursuit is public safety. And even the safety of the suspect is important to law enforcement because the last thing we want to do is have him crash into innocent people and hurt or kill somebody.
Right, as he's headed to a large intersection, kind of just barreling through.
Going against another light, running a red light there, but luckily he hasn't hit anybody yet. So we continue to watch as he is dealing with rush hour traffic, 6:22 in the evening in Buena Park. Oh, Anaheim. I'm correct. So he just entered into Anaheim.
Been in about 6 or 7 different jurisdictions there, but now back in Anaheim and driving in the median there, just trying to get past the traffic. And he's done whatever he can. He's gone on the sidewalks. He's gone on the emergency lane. Now driving in the median and just whatever he can do to get away. But
and he's sneaking over in that center median. There he is. He's in oncoming traffic again, sneaking back over to the right side of the road. As Dave Coons mentioned, we don't know how much gasoline he has in that car right now. He's really been accelerating, which is going to consume a lot of gas.
Well, the other thing he's got to be concerned about, if he's going to make these real wild moves, like, earlier he jumped up on that curb. If he starts hitting curbs with a front-wheel drive car, you have everything kind of buried in the front of the car. So you have the half shafts, you have all these what are called CV joints, and you can really damage the drive system of the car as opposed to a rear-wheel drive car. So that is a concern. If he hits the wrong curb the wrong way, he could instantly be disabled, which would do law enforcement a big favor, of course.
Certainly would.
Watch closely, though, because he is sneaking over that center divider, that double yellow line, every now and then coming very close to oncoming traffic. There he is again. He's completely on the wrong side of the road yet again. Cross that double yellow. Now he's going to try to hopefully sneak back in. But, yep.
Oh, we've seen some really close calls, just like the one we just saw right there.
Yeah, so then he's back. It's tough to see. Yep, he's back over the double yellow, so he's back in the proper lanes. But, boy, that was a close one. And cars, if they're coming at you at a rapid rate of speed, then obviously the reaction time is cut in half and more so. So it's extremely dangerous as we continue to watch him. And now he's in that center
And we haven't received any confirmation that there isn't anybody in the back seat because we can't see with those blacked out windows. But hopefully she's the only passenger.
Hopefully, but yeah, that's another good point. Bruce?
You know, I was going to say, David, you're dealing with a suspect who is obviously very agitated and very intent on getting away, risking his life, the life of the person in the passenger seat. And we have seen pursuits like this that don't end well. And so the agency is chasing. They're really evaluating this.
Yeah, what's concerning if he is wanted for domestic violence, obviously a man who's in distress and not in his right mind, and then this poor woman, I don't know her situation, but you got to feel for her situation and her part in this.
Terrible situation all the way around. Bruce, you've handled domestic violence issues in the past when it comes to law enforcement.
Whoa. Okay.
And he took he had to make an aggressive left turn. I don't know if that was planned, but he was trying to avoid a collision, it looked like. But Bruce, you've dealt with domestic violence as a member of law enforcement, and just like in the news business, we see many of them turn into extremely violent situations.
I would say a lot of the people in Orange County might argue that fact, but definitely does seem to be a little bit easier driving out here. You can take a look. There's almost no other vehicles out here on Catella. Looking out the window, I could have sworn they said eastbound, but westbound, but I'm telling you, it definitely looks like we're making our way eastbound here on Catella, heading actually towards Disneyland from the Knott's area, so definitely making our way over there. It's really hard for my pilot Fulvio to keep an eye on that vehicle because we are up so high, so we're going to keep an eye. We're going to make these moves for you with the camera as best we can. Looks like we made a southbound turn there on Brookhurst, and again, Southgate PD, I just want to double check to make sure that they are the ones still in pursuit. Maybe they did hand it off. That's something that I'm wondering now that we're in the Orange County area. It's definitely a different vehicle right there. I do know the sheriff's helicopter, Air 21, is the one making the calls. Those are the ones that's the guy I'm listening to, but it definitely looks like Orange County may have picked up this pursuit. And if they did, then that might change some of those policies. Maybe we'll see some sort of pit maneuver. Definitely not if he's keeping up these higher speeds. In the Garden Grove area, southbound on Brookhurst, the pursuit continues. Passenger, a female, driver, a male, and domestic violence is the original call, but this pursuit's been going on for some time as it started in the Southgate area. Definitely, all the. No, you're totally correct. All the law enforcement have their own policies on how they handle pursuits, and I'm not. There's no way I could be up to date on everything that they have been talking about. And also, it always comes down to the conditions, what's going on at that time. If it's not safe, even if they are pit qualified, meaning that they can come up and just kind of bump that rear bumper and spin that car around, just because they are doesn't mean that they will. They're always going to keep an eye on these conditions. Like right now, wrong side of the road out here on Brookhurst, and probably because you saw all that traffic, but this is so dangerous for anybody that's down there on the roads, but it does seem like pretty wide open, and I was going to say, Jeff, you might have a case for the Orange County traffic for sure. Definitely seems to be a lot lighter, definitely wider roads out here, that at least the ones that he's been picking. We are definitely going to be south of the Disneyland area, still in the Garden Grove area, though. Brookhurst, we're going to be coming up on Stanford, but I don't think that's a major. Going to keep a little bit of a wider shot, and we also remember we are definitely at about 3,000 feet right now, 3,500 as I've been corrected. So we are up pretty high up in the air this afternoon, using all the power of the Sky 2's lens just to keep an eye on where this suspect is and where he is going. Which IFB? Okay. Okay. Well, the law enforcement, there's been a lot of swapping, but it is for good reason. Don't get me wrong. This thing started in Southgate. Southgate PD was behind it for quite some time. I understand that the sheriff's helicopter that's been over it is going to relinquish the chase right now to the, look at this, look at this. This is the first time we've seen him really kind of squeaking his way through there. Jamming up like that might be the opportunity for that we've been waiting for the officers to make that move to get there right behind it as they have. Definitely backing up into an officer's vehicle, probably not the best thing to do. Looks like he is really, really jammed up. And officers, we're not seeing those doors open. We're not seeing the guns drawn. So it looks like we're going to continue on with that same type of posture where we are just going to keep following along. That K9 unit right there going across the median, those vehicles designed for that, so that's a big plus. But the chase continues on out here. That vehicle, yeah, wanted for domestic violence. If you're just joining us from the CBS side on KCAL, passenger, female passenger, male driver. It's basically the most aggressive stuff that we've seen this afternoon has been up in the Los Angeles area, where he was driving through a park, took out a fence, almost hit a pedestrian that was on the other side of that fence. Right now, though, a lot of heavy traffic. This could be the opportunity the officers want, but I don't know if they're going to take advantage of it. Now we're starting to move a little bit once again. We're going to be passing Westminster Avenue right there, actually turning on Westminster. Looks like a westbound turn. The officers are still from, I would still say that's going to be Southgate PD. Susie and copy. Yes. Gotcha. Susie, Jeff, KCAL 9. Got it. Whoa. Magnolia. What? Oh no, we are Westminster. Well, we're in the Westminster area. We're going to be southbound on Magnolia. We're coming up onto another major freeway out there, probably going to be the 405, but I can double check that for you in just a moment. That vehicle just kind of making his way down the road there. Yeah, wrong side of the road. There's been some very, very tense moments just in the last couple of minutes. There you go, another cutting off a couple of vehicles right there. We're going to get you an idea where this is. I believe this is going to be Edinger, and it looks like he did change his mind right there. You have to remember right now we are still in the Disneyland TFR, and the only reason I bring that up is because we're basically at about 3,500 feet. We might be able to be getting down a little bit here as we get a little bit closer, but the reason why I say that is it makes it difficult for my pilot Fulvio to actually see that vehicle down there on the road. So sometimes it's the camera making these moves, and sometimes it's my pilot Fulvio who's got his hands full this afternoon, keeping an eye on that car, and then also, of course, keeping everybody safe. Right now, though, that vehicle continues to move. You've been talking about the passenger. The window's gone up since we've been watching this chase. Earlier on, it was down, and like you said, that passenger, the female, having her feet up on the dash there, something that I personally don't condone in my vehicle for the danger point of it, because that if that airbag goes off, that's going to create some major injuries for that passenger. Doesn't look like she's in any kind of distress. Earlier on, when this whole thing started, the way it was explained to us was that somebody called the police. We don't know who that somebody is. Could have been the passenger, but it was explained that somebody saw some type of violence going on inside the vehicle. Southgate PD got behind them, and then they tried to pull over that car, and then that vehicle didn't stop. The driver, the male, has been pretty aggressive at some point, but not really in the driving. You're just basically reading body language. Maybe that's that person's body language. Maybe that's just who that guy is. Maybe he's very passionate about things. But at any rate, we've been watching that driver basically trying to make eye contact with the passenger and not keeping an eye on the road. Very dangerous situation indeed. Speeds, well, they've been pretty much, at one point he was basically staying well under the speed limit. Now that's kind of all changed up. Huntington Beach is where we are right now. Beautiful Huntington Beach area. They're going to be on Warner, and it looks like we're going to be making a turn right there. So that's going to be North Coast is the name of the street, and it looks like we're going to, Newland is the name of the street, and it's continuing on. If I'm okay with it, or if the powers to be are okay, we'll bring up the map, and we'll also bring up that speedometer. Sorry about that. And keep an eye on the speeds for a little bit, and you guys can read along where we are. Our map technology keeps an eye on this vehicle, and this chase continues. And again, we believe it's Southgate PD behind him. But in the air, it's going to be the California Highway Patrol now. Well, we don't know what the policy is for Southgate PD, but I can almost tell you just from the what we've been watching is that my guess is Southgate PD does not condone the pit maneuver, or their officers have not been trained for the pit maneuver. One of the other things is we've been making our way through all these different jurisdictions. One of the reasons why other officers or other departments have not been getting involved is basically because it has to be, there's actually a formal request that would mean that Southgate PD would have to say, hey, California Highway Patrol, can you take this over? Or Sheriff's Department, can you take this over? And it seems to me that Southgate PD does not want to relinquish the pursuit because they've been staying behind it for this entire time. There is something that has changed, is that the lead vehicle right now, or was the lead vehicle, we're back to that unit 141, was a canine unit. Basically, we see that as a second vehicle. So there's an opportunity, or maybe that the officers might be thinking that when this comes to an end, it may be a standoff and or a foot chase type of situation. Something about the other officers is you can see another police car there in the intersection. Just because other law enforcement agencies are not involved in the chase doesn't mean that they're not going to aid or assist when they're in their towns. So right now we're in the Huntington Beach area, or we were, and so officers they do know that this pursuit is going on, and if they're in the area, they will assist. You just saw them actually blocking that intersection, keeping civilians safe and allowing that vehicle to continue on safely, not getting in the way of any of the other officers. Making another turn right there. You can see that we made a turn basically onto Adams, as I understand it. And, back onto Beach Boulevard. I hope we're not going back into that TFR, because then we're going to have to climb again. But right now, this chase continues in the Huntington Beach area. That suspect, they still has that person, that victim, as we're going to call her a victim, inside. And making another turn right there. You know, the interesting thing is that we've seen this vehicle make his way into a couple of spots where this thing could have come to an end. Cul-de-sacs, an area earlier on where it was construction. Definitely slowing down quite a bit right there. We're going to keep an eye on it for sure. But again, seems to be going away from us. We're going to still in the Huntington Beach area right there. I was concerned that my pilot might not have a visual on it. You know, running the stop signs, again, don't have any idea what's going on inside that vehicle. There is no way for us to really know what that victim's attitude is about this, but it did seem very relaxed earlier on. She had the opportunity a couple of times to get out. The door did open at one point, but definitely didn't make that aggressive, I'm going to get out. Obviously, a person that's in that situation, she's got to know that she probably could just pull the keys out if she just reach over, take those keys out. Nothing like that has happened. So don't know what the relationship is in there. Don't know if this is one of those situations where she's like, well, you know, you got yourself in this situation, get yourself out. But as it stands right now, that driver, besides all the felony evading and all these reckless acts that have been going on, is also wanted for what the original want was, is domestic violence. Now on the wrong side of the road as we're continuing on, you can see it is Delaware Street. Looks like we're going to be turning onto another residential. No, we're not. But the vehicle definitely slowing down more than usual. So you got to wonder, perhaps running out of gas, perhaps looking for an area to get out. This is not the area where that vehicle is registered to. We got that earlier on. We were listening, and we know that it is registered to a home or a residence in the South Los Angeles area. So not this area. So probably not going home, but then again, we just don't really know, do we? So right now, though, it's continuing on down out here in the Huntington Beach area. Been making these wide turns. You saw some other law enforcement in those intersections, keeping an eye on the safety of the public. Not that this vehicle is moving any type of at high speeds, but definitely running almost every red light. And of course, you just don't know. Somebody else might be going through a green light. You're not expecting somebody to just basically be barreling through that intersection. So always very dangerous when he's going through those intersections. You can see the officers having to make those wide turns, but it does look like we were in this area just moments ago. Might be doing blocks out here. There's that intersection. So let's see what happens. Coming back around. He was, till just this very moment. He basically just made a big circle going back to that tree-lined area near those condominiums, but now in a major intersection that the light just turned green at, and you can see that vehicle just driving through there. Officers from Southgate PD still right behind him. Lights and sirens probably really helping out the situation, giving the civilians in the area the heads up. Hey, something's going on. Look around. Be aware. Get over to the right. Northbound Beach is where we are at right now, and it's going to be still in the Huntington Beach area. But this vehicle definitely was kind of unusual right there. It seemed that we made 2 attempts in that one area. Again, just don't know. Maybe he's making phone calls. Maybe he's trying to get a hold of somebody, going through the Wiener Schnitzel right there. And he's gone through a couple of the parking lots in the past, but definitely gesturing to the officers, at least to the officers, and now getting back out onto the street, just basically cutting the corner there. But this chase continues, and that passenger, well, whoops, making a U-turn. Whoops. Yeah. Taunting. Well, this just continues on out here. It looks as though we were everybody, Fulvio and I were just talking about it. Maybe he was running out of gas, kind of slowing down at a couple of times. Now starting to gesture to folks that are on the side of the road right there. So this is definitely becoming a little bit more of a spectacle as we're staying in the Huntington Beach area. Another Huntington Beach officer right there at that intersection, stopping traffic as the pursuit's making its way through this area. You know, again, we don't know what's going on inside there. That passenger obviously had plenty of opportunities to get out of that vehicle, do something to bring this to a stop. So, you know, we don't know the dynamic, and we can't even guess. That driver, though, has had a lot of time to kind of think about what's going on. It obviously, when this comes to an end, there are going to be cuffs placed on that driver. Hopefully they're going to be cuffs and it's not going to end in some kind of violent ending. But obviously that person is going to be taken into custody. It's just a matter of when, and perhaps that's what's going through that driver's mind right now. Beach Boulevard is where we are as we're making our way again northbound here on Beach, and we're still in the Huntington Beach area. Officers, they are relentless from Southgate. They have just been there behind him the entire time. The wider shot right now, just to kind of give you an idea what the traffic looks like here on the road. California Highway Patrol in the air doing a fantastic job calling out those intersections, keeping the officers apprised of where this vehicle is, and then of course also telling other officers, I guess it would be the Huntington Beach PD, of where this is. Looks like we're going to be going in through or cutting through another parking lot right there. Maybe he's hungry. This is the second time we've gone through a restaurant's parking lot. An alleyway, it's good out, but sometimes those alleyways are dead ends. If he doesn't know this area, it could have been something different. Right now, this one's putting you back out onto a major road. Looks like we're just kind of follow the leader type of situation out here. Not that high speeds, but definitely running lights. You got a van trying to get out of the way there. And those close calls, at these lower speeds, it might just be enough of a bump to bring that car to a halt. We've seen it in the past, a little bit of minor damage. You know, it's a front-wheel drive. Maybe hit that front wheel, break that CV joint. That thing's going to come to a stop. Again, we don't want to see an accident. We don't want to see that kind of anybody having any kind of problems besides maybe that suspect. But if it brings this to an end and keeps the public safe, that's what the officers are probably going to want as well. A number of Southgate PDs still behind it, California Highway Patrol in the air, and again, going to stay wide as we're getting through another major intersection, but this one, green lights. Yes, you said don't answer. Gabi all. Well, I'm looking out the window. I'm thinking that we are definitely going northbound. Definitely stopped with that whole, in that one area right there. Don't know what that was all about. Perhaps it was somewhere that he knew somebody. The driving pattern, it stays the same. He's basically taking every easy way out through all these intersections. If it's a red light, he basically, we rarely see the brake lights, but the speed's not that fast. He's been basically, right now, I'm guessing he's about 50 miles an hour. It is definitely a probably faster than the posted speed limit. Hands out of the window there. He's basically starting to gesture or wave to folks that are on the side of the road. I'm guessing that because he's staying in these areas that people are getting down there, getting out on maybe even on that center median, very dangerous. Don't want to condone that at all. And doing some social media or getting some video on their phone of that chase passing them. This person by no means any kind of hero. I got to put that out there. This is a domestic violence suspect that basically has been leading officers on a chase for hours through South LA and into Orange County and a little bit in the Long Beach area. But continuing now on Beach Boulevard, we're in the Garden Grove area. Looks like we're going to be joining a freeway again. This time of night, I'm looking out the window. I wanted to say it's going to be packed, but it's always those bizarre moments where the pursuit gets onto a freeway that all of a sudden there is wide open. That is the 22. Yes, it is. Definitely the 22. Westbound, Susie. Westbound. Yeah. No, don't. Well, there you go. California Highway Patrol. Oh, gosh, I wish that sun would just set, make up your mind. And, okay, copy all. My boss is telling me to talk. I was kind of waiting for everybody to kind of settle in, grab your drinks, and tune in whatever media you have to watch this. This pursuit continues to elude officers, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that it just keeps going and going and going. Southgate PD, they've been ones behind it for quite some time. Now the California Highway Patrol taking over. And what does that mean? Well, in my book, that means if this guy is getting off on an off-ramp or if this guy is going to slow down at some point, they are going to use that pit maneuver. They are pit qualified, and we have seen them do the pit maneuver whenever it is safe and they can do that. So right now we're on the 22 westbound and we are in beautiful Seal Beach. The sun is really, really annoying me. I can tell you that right now. The sun is setting out here, and it's very difficult to keep an eye on the monitors as we're basically flying toward the west. And anybody that doesn't know this, the sun sets out there in the west. So right now we're flying into the sunset and watching this chase. The California Highway Patrol, they're just joining it. It looks like one lone vehicle right now. I'm going to go a little bit wider. We won't lose the car, I promise you that. Just want to take if they are, it is all California Highway Patrol right now. The helicopter above, I know for a fact they've basically switched out earlier on from the sheriff's department, probably the sheriff's department that was running low on fuel as well as we did. You know what? Just letting you guys know, we landed for fuel, got fuel, and got back up in the air just for you. Just for you. Right now, though, westbound 22, going about 60 miles an hour. I can tell you that pretty safely. And just making our way Seal Beach area right now, and coming up on the, if we're not, we're going to be on the 405 here shortly. So it's going to be 405, and if he stays northbound, he might be making his way, maybe he just made a big tour. Maybe he's just kind of going back to where this all started. Made a little bit of a lane change there. If he does change freeways, we'll let you know what's going on inside that car. You know what? Those are one of those ones that, you know, when we're on the air, we talk about it. They're going across the Gore Point. We talk about that all the time. We don't know. We did witness some, let's just say, aggressive behavior and then some calming behavior from the driver. Obviously, the passenger feels safe enough to stay in that vehicle. And when I say that, there's been plenty of times where the door is opened up, but the passenger has not gotten out. Some people might say, well, she can't. Oh, my gosh. But I just got this weird feeling in my gut that she probably could get out of that car. Also, you know, just turn the key, turn off the car, grab the key, put it in park, you know, put it in neutral, anything to slow this down. But we haven't seen any of that. Earlier on, feet up on the dash. I made that comment on live on the air. Maybe I shouldn't have. Not a big fan of that. Don't like the feet on the dash. And it is dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. What's going on? Well, it looks like we are transitioning. It looks like it's going to be we'll figure out where the transition is right now. I'm not super good with this area, but it definitely looks like we're transitioning onto another freeway. And if I had to guess, and I'm going to guess, I'd say that is the 405. Is that the 405, Folio? Oh, this is the 605. Yeah, we're doing the 605. So now we're going to be on the 605 heading Rossmore is the name of the city that we're in right now. This guy, basically, we've been through the Lakewood area. 605 will take us into the Lakewood area. Maybe he'll get back off the freeway. In the end, whatever the deal is, we're just hopeful that this guy is just going to stop. Oh, my boss has got to talk to me. Hang on. Go ahead, boss. Go ahead. I'm still hearing it. I was hearing it. Okay. All right. It's up. You know, you can listen to us on Facebook Live, or CBS. You know what? Since I've got you, and we are live on the web and the social media, and I'm thinking people can hear me, I'm curious. On CBS, on the CBS website, are there comments on the CBS website? So on the CBS website, it's just me yammering, and I think there's no interaction. Okay, all right. Well, we are in Long Beach, California, northbound on the 605, and he's going about 66 miles an hour. All righty, folks, I'm going to try to join you guys once again. I don't know if I can say that, but I'm going to just blurt it out real quick. Tim Conway Jr. was texting me just a few moments ago, and if you guys are local, you know who that is. I'm sure that this is going to be something on his show. Right now, though, I'm going to try, I'm multitasking like I always do. I'm trying to get the Facebook up on my phone, and anybody that's been listening to us in the past knows that this is going to be a goat rodeo of epic proportion as we try to as I try to interact with you. Yeah, see, it's just it seems like I don't know why it won't load. Anyways, where are we? What's going on? If you guys are just joining us, it's a pursuit. We're in Long Beach right now. Actually, Hawaiian Gardens. We're in the Hawaiian Gardens area. This vehicle continuing northbound. The windows are up right now. Earlier they were down. There's a woman and a man inside that vehicle. The man is driving. The woman's in the passenger seat. Originally started with domestic violence. Somebody, the way it was told to me, somebody saw an altercation inside that vehicle. Called probably 911 or whatever, and it was in the Southgate area, and Southgate PD was delegated with the task to find this vehicle and pull them over and see if that person is all right. Deborah Berry is inviting me to viewing parties. You know what? I am going to try to join that person because obviously that link will take me to the page, and then maybe I can at least follow along with you all at least. If you have questions, that's really what I'm going for. If you got questions, maybe I have answers. But anyway, back to the story on how all this happened. So Southgate PD got behind the vehicle, turned on the lights and sirens, and the driver said, "You know what? I'm just not in the mood to stop." And the pursuit was on. Thank you. One of my other bosses is texting me right now saying that we've got a couple of people watching. I wish I could join the people watching. So at any rate, the pursuit was on. It was on, and for a while there, it was actually very slow speeds, 20 miles an hour, driving through neighborhoods. And then all of a sudden, things kind of changed up. Maybe it was, who knows what the change was, but he basically got himself stuck in a dirt lot. And then he made this turn, drove through a park, took out a fence. There was a person on the other side of the fence. Granted, neither of them could see each other because it had that fence, that green fencing stuff on it. And pow, went through that fence, dragged that fence for a little while, almost hit that person. Pretty scary stuff indeed. But the pursuit continued on. And it just went and went and went and went. A couple times he did cut through some intersections. I mean, cutting some corners. We did see him earlier on go through a Wiener Schnitzel and then a Norm's, but he also went through some gas stations. I don't think by any means it had anything to do with food. I think it had everything to do with the fact that he was just trying to cut corners. Yes, I'm kind of stumbling around because I'm almost have Facebook Live up, and I'm so excited. So there we are. I'm joining you guys there. Where's the chase? That's the first thing I saw. You know what? I'm sorry. I got all into how this was going on. Cerritos, northbound 605. It says 7A. I don't really know what that means, but northbound 605 freeway. We are moving. Amy, yes, I can see it right now. Jeff is joining us. Hey, Jeff. How's it going? And it just continues on. We're about 70 miles an hour. California Highway Patrol is taking it over. Why do I mention that? Well, California Highway Patrol, their pursuit policies, well, let's just say if he gets off an off-ramp, if he slows down enough, and there are no other vehicles around him, and it's a safe situation, I am seeing a pit maneuver in the future for that vehicle. Can't say it for sure, but I can tell you that that's probably what's going to happen. It does appear that Southgate PD does not have a pit maneuver policy because they did not try to pit this vehicle, and there were a couple of times when they got up right behind him there. Debbie Moscow, wow. And the reason why I'm so excited about Debbie is I went to school with her when I was a kid. Anyways, back to what's going on. We're still northbound on the 605 freeway. The driver, you know what? This is not any kind of hero situation. That driver wanted for domestic violence on the passenger inside that vehicle. You know, we saw earlier on that passenger, you know, basically feet up on the dash, hands out the window, kind of like in a type of mood. That might be because it's one of those situations, you know, we're assuming, here we go with the assuming again, and you know what they say about assuming things. The driver, they probably have a relationship. I don't think that's just some random person inside that car and this incident happened. I have a feeling that they know each other, and whatever occurred, and now, you know, they're kind of stuck with this situation. The driver, like I said, not a hero. at all. It's been getting a lot of close calls, Looks like we're kind of getting off to the right. We're in Norwalk right now, 605 freeway. Going a little bit wider just to see because I thought there was another freeway coming up, but I might be wrong. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on right there. If he does get onto another freeway, we'll let you know. Fulvio, my pilot, skilled, beyond skilled. Love the Fulvio. Moving the helicopter. Let's just call it the CBS helicopter because right now we're on Facebook. Kind of maneuvering it around there. A lot of times the angles get a little weird, and some people at home might be like, "Come on, I can't see it." Look, I can tell you, as soon as that car disappears, Fulvio's making a move, but it seems like we're moving very slowly. We are quite a distance away. Doing a transition right here, so 605, and I'm guessing that's going to be, that's the 105, right, Fulvio? Yeah, we're making our way onto the 105 freeway. So we'll see what happens westbound, so that means there's going to be that weird light again, and of course we got a lot of haze out here in the area. How long will that Honda go with a full tank of gas? Gosh almighty, you'd think probably more than a couple of hours. I'm being serious about that. Like, think if you're on a road trip, you're not stopping every 2 hours unless you're on a road trip in an A-Star, because every 2 hours you pretty much got to stop for fuel. But if you're in a Honda, you probably could go for quite a while. A good clip, I would say. You make some good time. So somebody was questioning if we're going to be back in the Norwalk area. Probably. That's what I'm guessing as well. Bellflower Boulevard, Downey is where we are right now. This is still moving along. If you guys are just joining us and you missed all the drama earlier on, we were over this, and because Sky 2 had the honeydew list today, I got to tell you, we got to work, and then it was go look at this, go look at that, go report on this, go, hey, we heard this. So we were jumping all over the Southland. What is the Southland? And but when we picked up this pursuit, we were a little low on fuel. Never a safety issue. So we actually had to land, get fuel, and rejoin the pursuit. So how about that? How about that? Some people might be saying, oh, you know what? They had to go get fuel. You know what? I wear that like a badge. We left, got fuel, and came back. How about that? And what other station can say that? And I hope nobody, because I don't think there are any other stations that cover pursuits in the Southern California area. Anyway, some folks are saying, hi, Fulvio, where are we now? Let's talk about the pursuit. Downey, California. We're on the westbound 105 freeway, 69 miles an hour. You guys can see that. What am I telling you? You guys can read it right there. We're keeping that up right now. So the powers to be, meaning our assignment desk, can keep an eye on this pursuit as well. Apparently they are very, very busy, and they don't want to listen to me yammer. So this way they can just kind of look up at the screen and say, oh, that's where they are. Why are they doing that? Well, they probably want to get ground crews in position when this comes to an end to at least kind of maybe sort of be in the area. Fog is supposed to roll in. Tell me about that. It is very foggy out here, and I am hoping that we don't get into a situation where we're like, oh, yeah, we lost it because of the fog, because that is going to be no fun at all. I'm going to do a little bit of multitasking right now, so I am going to stay with you. I might not be as entertaining. I don't think I'm all that entertaining anyway. Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Yeah, we kind of lost him. I got to move the... there we go. That's what I wanted. All right. What I wanted was I want to listen to California Highway Patrol so I can get the inside scoop just in case something interesting is going to be happening. But we are definitely on the 105 freeway. We are moving west. What is out to the west besides the sunset? Well, that's going to be the ocean. And the ocean means marine layer. Marine layer means we're not going to be able to follow it. So hopefully... be able to follow it. So hopefully
Alright, you guys, if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see that I'm actually saving the...
Well, not sure what happened, but it died. So let me see if I can find another feed or something. Give me a minute here. I'm not sure what happened with Stu, but he dropped off. Yeah, maybe he'll come back. I don't know. I'll give it a minute here. Hey, Shane, YouTube broke. Give me a nickel anyway. Yeah, I'll find one here. Give me a second. Yeah, give me 1 second here. I'll put one up. I'm getting there. Hang on. Alright, here we go. I guess.
You see windows down again. He's waving at the helicopters, waving at the officers. Coming up on Imperial here northbound on Long Beach Boulevard.
I'm assuming this is live. I don't know. Well, it's got 18,000 people there, so good chance of it.
Coming up to Imperial. Up into the driveway here. Anyways, you see him here. He's through the intersection, or through the McDonald's here, working his way around Imperial and Long Beach Boulevard. Back out to Imperial, turning back towards, pushing around those cars. Wrong side of the street, coming back up to Long Beach and turning south on Long Beach. He just did that to be able to get around stop traffic. That's the only thing he's doing there. So that's what we've seen multiple times on this pursuit as he worked his way around. Continuing here south on Long Beach. Correction, north on Long Beach from Imperial. Coming up to MLK through that intersection. As we continue north on Long Beach Boulevard here. Coming back up here, let's see what he does. This is where he came off earlier, but he got through that intersection. And this will take us back up. Back up into the area where this all began at Southgate. Staying in the number 1 lane. Now we're getting Tweedy is what he's coming up on now. Long Beach Boulevard, northbound, coming up to Tweedy. Green light. Continuing now north. Continuing north here on Long Beach Boulevard. Coming up to Southern here, north on Long Beach, coming into Southgate. Actually, we're coming into the Walnut Park area. 20 miles an hour now north on Long Beach. Through Tweedy, coming up on Firestone. We were here earlier today, probably about 2 hours ago. Slowed down here, got cross traffic. He's come up on a red light here at Firestone. And so right now they're handling this as a domestic violence ADW, or assault with a deadly weapon, for what he did in that park over here at Franklin Park, driving through the fences, chasing people around as he ripped through the intersection. Here he goes, pushing through the intersection of Firestone, working his way through, cars making their way through, and didn't hit anybody. All clear to go here as we continue north on Long Beach. 15, 20 miles an hour they're calling. Coming up on Ardmore. Middle of the street here, working way through the wrong side of the street here on the left turn pocket, working his way around the traffic, pushing his way through here. She say pit? Anyway, continuing north on Long Beach Boulevard. Coming up on Broadway on North Long Beach. And get ready for a pit. Got 3 units behind him. Coming up on Broadway now as we come around the corner here. He's got wide open street ahead of him, but a little further up you got a truck on the side of the road there. They don't want to pit there. As we continue here north. Coming up on Broadway. Green light through this next intersection. Coming up on where Long Beach turns into Pacific as we are working. And it's going to be really tight in this area here as we come along. So up, you make a westbound turn onto a little res track here. Got you as well. As we work our way around here, coming back. And as we continue here, coming back up to Santa Fe, I believe. Passenger doors open, passenger doors open. We're at Walnut and Santa Fe, southbound on Santa Fe. Continuing south here from Walnut on Santa Fe. There you go. Doors open, doors open. And doors popping. Looks like the passenger's trying to come out. She's back in. Kind of work. Five's working over to the west. Green light for a pit maneuver. Oh, but I don't think they're going to do it with her popping the door like that. So maybe his car's giving up on him. This may be coming to an end here. Continuing on. All right, we're coming up here. See the next intersection, north or south on Santa Fe. All right, we're heading, we turned on Nadu, but it's going to turn into Broadway here as we turn away from San Fernando. Yeah, 5's in behind you. Tango Victor, no factor. Coming back up to Long Beach here, center divider. We were on this street earlier today. And now here we go here, see what he does when he gets this next intersection. Left turn here, north on Pacific. Actually, it's Long Beach and Pacific, and you can see her waving out of the window. And it's Long Beach Boulevard up to a point here where it gets to Huntington Park, and then it turns into Pacific. 5's going to stay up here to the north. I'm going to get ahead of him here to get out in front so when he started making his turn, because they're kind of circling the neighborhood here. Pacific coming up to Florence here. See the female's got her feet up on the dashboard again, hand out the window. You see a little tussle going on there. She's grabbing the wheel. Oh, she's grabbing the wheel.
Look, 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 she's got her feet up on the dash. What does she see? What is she seeing that we're not seeing? There's nothing. Oh, the guy on the bike. Man, what's that guy doing? Come on, there's a pursuit going on, guy. Get out of the way. All right, a little bit, little weaving going on there. Again with the feet on the dash. If those airbags go off, that is going to be painful. Wilmington, I'm sorry, Huntington Park. Huntington Park. That's not really the name of the street, it's Huntington Park. Just one Huntington. Still very slow and go out here. Pacific Boulevard, Huntington Park. This is the Pacific Boulevard that I know. Right here. This is the, when I said earlier, this doesn't look like Pacific Boulevard. There you go, kind of weaving in and out. California Highway Patrol, they may follow. Yeah, they are. Right behind it, slow moving at best. 20s, 30 miles an hour. I was really, really hoping this thing was going to come to an end. Not because I don't like entertaining y'all, just because this has just been going and going and going. So there's the victim. There's the victim. Does she look like she's being held against her will? I'm just saying. Yeah, he's reaching over. It looks like he's reaching over to open the door. Definitely, though, when this comes to an end, that driver's he's got to get some anger management, definitely some anger management help. That is for sure. That is just not good, not good. Continuing on now, it's Randolph. I heard that street's coming up. I know that is in the area right there. Yep, northbound Pacific approaching Randolph. Wide streets, relatively full. California Highway Patrol, pit certified. Pit certified. They're just kind of saying where this all started. I didn't have that information, so I'm going to pass it along. California and Firestone. California and Firestone, that was the original spot where Southgate PD tried to pull that vehicle over. You can see the lights and sirens working their magic. Cars stopping there, and that's not because their light turned green. They basically just went through that intersection, but the lights and sirens, all the vehicles kind of stopped there. And that's what's keeping the public safe right now. Not that this guy is driving, lightning speeds, but uh-oh. No problem. What's up, brother? What's up? TOC, what's going on? Oh, I didn't even see it. Let me take a look. Wild pursuit, knocking down fences and wrong way driving. Is the woman a passenger or a hostage? All right, let me try that for real. 3, 2, 1. Wild pursuit, knocking. Oh gosh, guys, I can't. Not right now. Not right now. Not right now. And I mean that for you, Lynn. I'm sorry. You can see what's going on right there, and I want to keep an eye on this. We definitely have to keep an eye on this. Stu's sitting up straight. Oh, yeah, this guy's a little savvy. He's a little savvy. All right. You know what? Let me try to read the T's, and maybe that'll get that pit to happen. All right, here we go. Wild pursuit, knocking down fences and wrong way driving. Is the woman a passenger or a hostage? Wild pursuit, knocking down fences, wrong way driving. Is the woman a passenger or a hostage? Or you can add on, or an accomplice. Look at that. Okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, gee. There we go, making another turn. This is where they would do it, right behind on a turn. I'm being serious. That is where they would do it, on a turn or behind a building so we can't see it. Son of a gun. All right, he's backing. Why did he back off all of a sudden? Why did he was, so close. Just so you guys know, I got like 13 messages, probably most of them from pilots talking about how they're eating my lunch. So, right. John agrees with me, trying to shove her out. Look at this guy. Here we go. Ah. Fulvio. Yeah, stay away from the buildings. Oh, we got no other car. Well, I thought we had no other cars. California Highway Patrol might kind of do this at a little bit higher speeds. Definitely not on a bridge. I can guarantee you that. And I'm sure they're going to want some sort of center divider just because they don't want this guy spinning off into oncoming traffic. But definitely a change in the game plan, which makes me happy. And it keeps going and going and going. Let me see if I can get back to... Oh, here we go. No. Stop with the big buildings. Oh, son of a gun. If we miss this pit, I am just going to cry for the rest of the night. Okay. No, it's fine. Yeah. Oh, don't get on the freeway. Oh, so close. Here we go. Don't let him get on the freeway. Oh, they're letting him get on the freeway. Oh, 110 freeway. I'm sorry, the 10 freeway. Gosh, are we at the 10 freeway? Woo! How we have been all over the place. Or not. Is he getting back off the freeway? No, he's staying on the freeway. So my pilot John says not a hostage, not a hostage. And these are just guesses. There's no inside information or anything like that. I wish there was some inside information. That would be great. There, he's on the brakes. There, what? What? Oh. Hopefully it's the car. Oh, golly, golly, golly. Here we go again. Linda, why would you say speed up? Oh, you're telling the CHP to speed up. Okay. I was going to be saying, you're rude. You can't, a long time ago I made a decision that I can't root for either of the teams. My job is just to watch. Oh. Yeah, I said gosh darn it. I didn't say anything better than that. I don't even think I said geez OP. And here we go again. Boyle Heights, beautiful Boyle Heights. Oh, hang on. I'm going wide for a second. They just said there's a lot of traffic up ahead. Is there slowing up ahead? Okay. Vehicle stopped on the freeway. Oh yeah, there's some sort of accident up there. And I'm talking about it like it's a good thing, but I'm actually kind of concerned. People might be out of their vehicles, and this could be a problem. So we're going to keep an eye on it. That's for sure. Looks like he is kind of starting to hug that right lane again. Nope, you're not going to. Yeah, I was going to say that big rig. Don't care about you, little Honda. Oh, that was not cool. Oh, is he going to get off the freeway? Why does he have all these opportunities? There we go. Don't cut off that Dodge. That Dodge won't like that. There we go. And we're off the freeway. I think this is Lorena. You're going to say, Stu, you've got... Whoa! No. Oh. All right, East Los Angeles on Olympic Boulevard. Olympic Boulevard this time of night looks to be almost wide open. California Highway Patrol A-Star right there, B3, very nice helicopter. Never been in it, probably never will be, but very cool to look at. And those guys that are in there, very professional, making the calls, keeping everybody up to date, keeping the officers from the California Highway Patrol informed on where he is. Look at those guys. Look at all that crazy driving. And where did it get you? Look, the California Highway Patrol is still right there behind you. Now I'm starting to sound like my mom. Anyways, here we go. We're going to stay. We're still going to be on eastbound on Olympic Boulevard, slowing. That was the first time I saw it slowed for a green light. That guy might have been thinking another pursuit might be coming the other way. I did not hear that. Tell me I did not hear that. Oh, here we go. 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 He's on the brakes, too. He's on the brakes. Come on. Oh, don't do it under the freeway. Yes, the reason why I stopped talking, bated breath. Bated breath, everybody. The problem with that, too, is you got to think is like that guy is now looking in his rearview mirror, speeding up and not looking at the traffic ahead of him. Like that. Oh. It was there was a mile between them, trust me. But if you were that guy and you looked out your window and you know it was a green light and you saw a car coming at you, I'm sure, you get that little bit of adrenaline rush. There's no doubt about that. Melina, when we go by, we'll wave, I promise. Passing you up. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, 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 come on. They got to come up with a way to get those police cars more stealthy. they're not going to do it right now. They might have done it there in that intersection. I thought if they could have, but trust me, it's not as easy as you think. I am sure about that. It isn't like they just kind of like jam on the gas and just pull up right behind them. I'm sure there's a lot going on in that officer's mind and what he's looking at and what he's planning on. And those California Highway Patrol guys, as far as I know, they all drive once, meaning there's just the officer in there. So he's got a lot going on. Trust me, he's got a lot going on, and it's not as easy as it looks. Even though I'm kind of making this look like Spy Hunter. Ooh, oop, oop, oop. It looked like he was trying to help you. Look at that. Here we go. Here we go. Why? Oncoming traffic. All right. Yeah, this guy's starting to get a little savvy to the going-ons of the California Highway Patrol, and also don't think that we're giving anything away or he's able to listen to us and he knows what you're doing because you're telling him. No, I don't think it's anything like that. I think he's pretty much looking out his rearview mirror and he sees this California Highway Patrol cruiser with the lights and sirens on coming up right behind him and trying to pit him. I think that's what's going on. So, at any rate, continuing on here, we are on Olympic Boulevard, stayed on Olympic Boulevard, East Los Angeles area. If you believe it or not, I didn't think East Los Angeles was that big, but definitely continuing on. Approaching Garfield is going to be the next major. The only reason I'm going wide right there is because of that. And you got a lot of slow-moving traffic, and you got some weirdness that this guy's got to do, and he's going to go against traffic. And it looks like still eastbound, just passing through Garfield. There you go. Do it. Oh. Here I am telling everybody not to be like that, and I'm doing it myself. Sorry. Do what I say, not what I do. Another red light, and you see that California Highway Patrol, they have to obey the lights. They have rules and regulations that they have to abide by, and that make this whole thing so difficult. Here we go. Yeah, there. Oh, little tap, not enough. Well, that's the first contact we've seen. Little nudge, and here comes nudge number 2, or not. He's on the brakes. Oh, come on. Yep, that was Vale. Vale was the street that we just went through. Another red light. I wonder how many other officers are behind him. Enough. So, I had the privilege and the luxury, and I wish I would remember the officers' names, to actually sit in a modern Charger CHP vehicle, and they have got some cool toys in there. I got to tell you. It's almost video game status. I got to tell you, or jet fighter status. A lot of the controls aren't switches anymore. They're buttons, basically on not even on the shifter knob, because they've got a column shifter, but they've got like a pretend shifter in the center console that they can put their hands on and manipulate things inside that vehicle, lights, sirens, radios, all that kind of good stuff. And of course, they have all the modern technology where they don't have to key a mic to talk, thank goodness. So they can just basically, push that button, or they just give commands. It's voice commands. It's pretty nifty stuff, I gotta say. What the technology that's inside those vehicles is quite a bit. In this case, though, we're more concerned about that push bumper and what that push bumper is going to do to that Honda here in just a moment or two. It's still going, getting up close. But see, this guy, he's a little savvy. But this cannot go. How long can this go on? Isn't that in a song? I think that's working in a coal mine. Anyways, here we go. Whoop, dip, 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 dip. What was all that flashing? Well, I can tell you what that flashing is. That's it's a photo enforced intersection. So somebody's going to get a ticket in the mail. There we go. It's you know, it's like the E-Ride. You know, it's like being at Disneyland. They got pictures of themselves in the car as they went through the intersection. Yes, I saw that as well. He tossed something out of the vehicle. Don't know what that was. Don't think it was anything really. But this has got to come to an end. California Highway Patrol, they're the ones to do it if it's going to happen. Hopefully it won't happen in a crash. Getting a little bit wider there as we're passing some other vehicles. Some people actually pulling over, others not so much. Where is the California Highway Patrol? They are right there behind them. This just goes and goes and goes. And before we know it, we're going to be putting this on live on television again on Channel 9. If you guys are local, Channel 9. Flood, brother, I'm just going to start hyping the Fiesta LA for Sunday. No, Fiesta LA. That's in downtown Los Angeles. I'm joking. We're Montebello, brother. No, Montebello. On Beverly Boulevard. Okay, copy all. If you guys want to follow along on social media for me, Stu_Mundell. That's pretty much everything. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I try to interact as much as I can. What I was going to tell y'all is CBS is having a little meet and greet event this weekend. I believe it's Sunday. Fiesta LA, downtown Los Angeles. They threatened that I have to sign autographs, so we'll see what happens there. Right now, though, this pursuit's continuing. More important, way more cool than me signing an autograph. But if you guys want, that's Fiesta LA. Find it on the internet. I think it's going to be in downtown Los Angeles, obviously, because it's Fiesta LA. I don't have the times handy, but it is going to be an event. It's not just me, brothers and sisters. It's going to be all of the I can't imagine all of the CBS family is going to be there, but real cool talent's going to be there from CBS and possibly me as well. And I don't know if I'm going to really be signing autographs. I find that hard to believe, but stranger things have happened. This pursuit now in the Montebello area. If you haven't heard that, me telling my buddy Flood, we are going to be joining the Channel 9 KCAL. If you guys are local, turn it on, tune in, watch, listen, learn. The anchors are definitely going to be giving me a little bit of a break. So I can't wait to hear what their commentary is, and I mean that. So continue to watch this. It looks like another officer is joining the chase. Maybe this guy's saying, look, let me show you how to do the pit. Let me show you how to do that pit. We'll see. But this pursuit definitely continuing on. Fulvio, what do we got for fuel? Copy all. Simon Des, just letting you know we have 1 hour, 20 minutes of fuel. 1 hour, 20 minutes of fuel. Oh. No brakes for me. No, it's all fine. It's all good. It's all good. Oh, Linda, that's not nice. All right, we're coming up to Atlantic, making a turn on Atlantic. We're on Atlantic. Looks like we're going to be going southbound. Southbound Atlantic. Is that southbound? That's northbound. This map is a little screwy. Coming up on Pomona Boulevard, not the city. East Los Angeles. Flood, we're back in East LA. So you just got to wonder, how much fuel did this guy have when this thing started? There we go, wrong side of the road. Why would you do that? Oh, that's why he did that, all the traffic. Oh, getting back on the right side of the road. For all my English and Australian friends, it is the right side of the road. if you're on the left hand of the vehicle. Anyways, here we go. We passed your house. Doug, I knew I saw somebody waving. I wasn't sure who it was. You know, the slower speed's probably going to help with the gas mileage. I'm being serious about that. Northbound Atlantic. We're in the Monterey Park once again. Monterey Park. The reason why I'm calling out the cities that much is for my buddy Flood. Atlantic. Linda, this probably, I have a feeling it's going to go for a while. Yes, Ashley, my one of my producers. I wish you could hear this guy's voice. Oh my God, it's like silk. It's like velvety silk. That's my my buddy Flood in the booth, and that's his last name is Flood. And yeah, he's got a voice that like golden tones. You have no idea. All right, let me play with the camera a little bit here as it's getting darker and darker. No, you can do laundry. Can't you watch this like on a mobile device? And we keep on keeping on. A little bit faster right there. The unit that took over, the CHP vehicle that took over. You know, I don't like the word unit. I'm always like when I say it, I'm like, that just doesn't sound cool. I want to say squad car, but it's not really a squad car. It's a CHP vehicle. Officers usually call them shops. Yep, that's the word they use. You know, what shop number are you? And that would be 220 in this case. So, but I can't use the word shop because people would be like, what does he mean, shop? So, CHP vehicle. Oh, look at that. He actually slowed down. Must have been a green light. It was. Or we thought a pursuit was coming the other way. All right, here we go. We're still northbound on Atlantic, and we're still in the Monterey Park area. We're coming up on the 10 freeway. Let me looking at my watch because it's we're still 10 minutes away. We will be well past the 10 or on the 10 freeway as it's getting closer. If you guys are local, KCAL, that's the place to be. I don't know how it works with the Facebook anymore. If you guys can hear the anchors, but the anchors will have some fabulous comments, information, and insight into this chase here in just a minute, and it'll probably give me a moment or two to drink some water, put my feet up, get that little drink with the umbrella in it, and just be a camera operator for a hot second this evening. This was not the Wednesday I had planned, but it is the Wednesday we got dealt, and it is a good Wednesday. Moving around a little bit, you can see California Highway Patrol. Did he just change up his lights? I like those. All right, let's keep an eye on the cars, too. All right. Well, the window's back down once again. The passenger, a little bit of a different stance. What did you say, westbound? They can't be westbound. Are we on Garvey? We are Garvey? We changed. When did he make a turn? We're on Garvey. Why don't they drop some spike strips? Well, the answer that I can give you, and I don't know if it's the correct answer, it's just an opinion. The reason why they're not dropping spike strips is because they don't know where he's going to go. You might say, well, he's been going that same direction for so, yeah, maybe. But they don't know where he's going to go, so they can't put the spike strips out. That's basic. I'm sure that's one of the big reasons. Christina, don't neglect your children. And definitely don't put that on social media. I know you're being funny. Oh my gosh, it's Rick Brown. Rick Brown joining the party. How are you, Rick? Rick? Oh, I guess I am. I should switch to 6, right? Because we're going to be on KCAL. All right. Thank you for the heads up. Yeah. Sure. You don't even have to ask. Just tell me. Yeah, he turned off the lights. Very clever move. Nobody knows where he is. Those lights are off. I can't find the car. Well, now I can't find the car because he's behind some trees. He's going to pop out of the trees here in just a second. Don't worry about it, Fulvio. There he is. We're back into the Monterey Park area. Just if anybody needs to know, wants to know. Oh, you guys can read you can read it now. Never mind. Never mind. Westbound on Ramona. Oh, you know what would be a good start to the 8 o'clock? A good pit. Copy all, control room. We are ready. I'll stop talking as soon as I hear the music. That is the 710 freeway right there in the shot, if the map tracker didn't tell you. I got to tell you, I'm an older guy, and the map tracker for me, font very small. Sometimes I have trouble reading it. And things are moving in here a lot. And I mean the vibration of the screen. So, but at any rate, this is a long one. Yes, yes it is. Epic. Gabby, thanks for joining us. Getting a little slap happy. I'm waiting for those anchors to chime in, pick this up, give us some insight. Oh, it stopped giving the street. Actually, it's East Los Angeles once again. Thank you for asking. We're in East Los Angeles. Flood, East Los Angeles. Well, looks like we're getting on a freeway.
In an accident. But that truck didn't stop. The truck accident left me with so many questions. Do I have the best doctors?
I don't know what happened. We went to some stupid commercial. Hang on a minute. Let's see if it comes back or what. I don't know. Wait a minute. It's still the same feed. I just ain't sure what happened. It'll come back though. Hey, I've said it before, but you know, I've watched a lot of streams from other people, but not very many want to interact with their audience. So I try to.
Leading police on a wild and dangerous chase for hours now, amounts to 2.5 hours.
That's right. 5:25 is when Stu Mandel and Sky 9 was overhead. This pursuit going for almost 3 hours now. Behind the wheel is going to be an assault, a domestic violence suspect. Passenger is the victim and remains in the front seat of that car. Let's go to Stu Mandel in Sky 9 with the latest. Stu?
Well, we just got onto the 710 freeway, and this pursuit just goes and goes and goes. California Highway Patrol, they took it over from the Southgate PD down in the Orange County area. I would venture to say more than an hour ago. California Highway Patrol has made an attempt. We actually saw a physical touch between the California Highway Patrol and the suspect's vehicle, meaning that they were trying to do a pit maneuver. That driver, though, kind of a little bit savvy to what's going on. You can obviously, looking in that rearview mirror, seeing that police car or this California Highway Patrol vehicle coming up on that on them, basically does maneuvers to keep away from that pit maneuver and has been successful. Where we are right now, well, it looks like we are still on the 710, but it looks like we're exiting Alhambra. That's the city that we're in right now. California Highway Patrol, this would be a spot where they might be able to do a pit maneuver when they basically slow down, but with all those other vehicles, civilian vehicles in the area, they won't attempt it. So it looks like we're basically just making a big U-turn there where the 710 comes to an end. So now we're going to be going southbound on the 710 freeway. This is going to be a little bit of an on-ramp. This pursuit keeps going and going, like we said. You mentioned it earlier on. How did this whole thing start? Well, domestic violence. That's what got the officers' attention in the very beginning. It started all in the Southgate area. Southgate PD got the call that something was going on inside that Honda. They got in a location where it was officer from from Southgate PD got up behind that vehicle, turned on the lights and sirens, and it was off and running. And it has been going for hours now. The vehicle hasn't hit any other vehicles this evening, thank goodness. There was some very dangerous moves earlier on when the vehicle made its way through a park, took out a fence, almost hit a pedestrian on the other side of that fence, but thank goodness nobody's been hurt. Now the big question, is that passenger a victim? Is that passenger along for the ride? What is going on inside there? Why hasn't she made an attempt to bring that vehicle to a stop? Well, actually, the only answer we can really say for all of that is we'll know when this thing comes to an end. When it is all over, that's when we'll know the real answers. But it appears that the driver has been basically at some point this evening was actually reaching over, opening the door, pushing the door open, saying, "Get out." And that passenger not getting out of the vehicle. So that kind of adds a different dynamic to what's going on inside that car. Also, the big question is how much gas does this car have?
Stu, and just to talk to what you were talking about with the passenger, while we're still talking about the passenger, if you wouldn't mind just telling us, did you happen to see, like, now, before we left you, it was still, the sun was up and the passenger's feet were actually up on the dash. Now, did you see that later on as well? Did that continue?
Yeah, her feet, Susie, her feet's up on the dash, but it's not like she's bracing for impact. It looks more like she's just kind of relaxing. And again, we don't know for sure. It's just an observation from where we're at. She looks like she's just kind of relaxing. She's just kind of putting her feet up there and just kind of like lounging around. And that driver, like I said, there's been a couple of times when they were back in the Southgate area where he reaches over. And it not holding her back, but looks like, pushing the door open, like hitting the door handle and shoving that door open, saying, "Get out." And she hasn't made any attempt to do that. She basically is in for a penny, in for a pound, perhaps. I don't know. We don't know what that dynamic is inside that vehicle, but definitely does not seem like wanting to get out of that car. Making a big transition right here. Sorry about that move, but that's probably the best way to keep that camera on that vehicle. It looks like we're going to be joining the 60 freeway. We're going to be in the East Los Angeles area. The East Los Angeles, Monterey Park, seems to really like this area. I don't know if that's on purpose or just seems to be making his way back to this area multiple times. And it does look like this driver is just going to kind of keep this going until they run out of gas. California Highway Patrol, when they were on the streets, they had some opportunities to do that pit maneuver, but every time that driver would would change up the situation. That's probably the best way to say it. Change the situation where it was unsafe, or the California Highway Patrol was unable to do that pit maneuver safely. So the pursuit just continues. One time only, when we saw the California Highway Patrol actually make contact with that rear bumper, but it wasn't enough. It was basically just a kind of a thump, and the car did move a little bit, but it wasn't enough. Right now, those speeds, 90 miles an hour. I could put let me put the map back on so you folks at home can get a gander at that too. 92 miles an hour. These numbers pretty accurate, I can tell you that for sure. And you can see how he's flying by other vehicles down there. This is not going to create any separation between the pursuing California Highway Patrol and that driver. Even the high speeds, you got the helicopter above, the California Highway Patrol, they've got the radios, and they are keeping up. Let me go a little bit wider, and you can see this vehicle moving in and out. That night sun, that's from the California Highway Patrol helicopter. Moving our way, coming up into the Montebello area. Atlantic is the next boulevard, and you just got to wonder, how is this thing going to come to an end?
Absolutely. This is a 60 freeway now. This is going to be in Montebello as we continue to follow this pursuit that is almost 3 hours long here. We've been following on KCAL 9. I will say that this all began earlier today in Southgate. There's a chain of events that have happened. We saw that inset box showing you earlier today. At one point in time, the driver went through a chain link fence at a park to escape. Once he got cornered in a park area, police followed him through there, blew through several red lights, blowing through dozens and dozens of red lights, driving onto oncoming traffic, high rates of speed. You see there was all the way up to 96 miles an hour. Very erratic driving, gesturing out the window.
Now.
And
yeah,
you see
they're fighting now. There's definitely something going on. Sorry, Jeff, I didn't want to interrupt, but to take a look at that, this is something different. We haven't seen this type of activity inside the car at all. And you have to understand, too, we're going 65 miles an hour. They're basically hugging that center divider, and there is definitely an altercation, again, going on inside that car. At these speeds, very dangerous situation. Any movement of that vehicle, dangerous, but this is especially dangerous. And you can see definitely something's changed inside that car in the last couple of minutes. There was some serious fussing going on, and that passenger driver, some kind of altercation. Right now, though, her foot's back up on that center, up on the dash right there. But for a moment there, you saw that car getting a little squirrely, and the speed's actually now picking up again as they're continuing on. But you got to wonder, maybe the passenger just getting tired of the ride. And maybe actually doing something to bring this to an end.
We did see the driver agitated earlier in the daylight hours, and we could see that he was gesturing to her in a very aggressive manner. They were obviously verbally talking back and forth. There was a physical altercation earlier. This is all going on behind the wheel of this Honda Accord. And we did see earlier that aggressive behavior onto a sidewalk at one point in time.
That's right.
But, you know, we can't really say that. I mean, we saw the door fly open a couple times.
While the car was still going.
And people can say, well, how come the victim didn't get out? But, I mean, you have to understand that victim has got to be extremely scared.
Again, we have no idea what's going on inside this car.
And getting out may be too dangerous, and they may be too stricken with fear to even act to do anything. I mean, this is a very volatile situation.
It is, and that's why it's so difficult for law enforcement officials, because there are certain protocols, obviously, they have to follow when there is another person inside that car. That person not only being a suspect, but we're talking about a victim here in this case, too, who has been the victim of domestic violence, And so we have a lot of different dynamics, if you will, going on not only inside this car, obviously, right now, but also during this pursuit. Is this person armed? We don't know with this domestic violence. Is this person intoxicated on drugs, perhaps causing this person to act this way, to drive this way, to act out like this? Who knows? Or other crimes. We have not heard about anything else besides evading police and domestic violence. So as far as we know, there could be other things that this person is wanted for.
Absolutely. Let's go back to that box there. That's going to be earlier. That is the struggle inside of that vehicle, that presumed fight that was occurring between the driver and the passenger there. We understand that the driver is the aggressor, wanted for assault, domestic violence on the passenger that is a victim. And we did top over 100 miles per hour, I saw just a few moments ago. So let's go back up to Sky 9 and Stu Mundell with the call. Stu?
Well, high speeds for sure. We don't want to see any of that. This is the first time we've actually seen any of these kind of high speeds. And obviously in the emergency lane right there, I've said it in the past, hopefully he'll pick up some kind of debris and lose a tire and just bring this thing to an end. Slowing down a little bit, and when I say a little bit, you see those numbers there. We're just basically touching the 90s. We were in triple digits just a moment ago. The dynamic inside the vehicle, we just don't know. Obviously, they could be boyfriend, girlfriend, they could be husband and wife, we don't know. On the hard on the brakes right there, and again, if that was for the traffic ahead or if there's something else going on, we're just keeping an eye on it. Speed's definitely slowing down right now. Made our way all the way out to the Avocado Heights area. That's the actual name of the city. Eastbound 60. Yeah, eastbound 60 freeway. My map is saying westbound, but I can tell you we are eastbound 60 freeway, and this just keeps going, and it just gets more and more bizarre. That's the first time we saw any kind of aggression between the two in there, that kind of fighting, and this is the first time we've actually seen this vehicle go faster, like basically touch the triple digits. Right now, though, we're just continuing along. California Highway Patrol in the air. That's that light, and they're keeping an eye on it. I went wide there just a moment ago just to see where the law enforcement is. They are catching up slowly. But you have to remember, they are bound by rules, and one of the rules is safety. So are they going to go 100 miles an hour? Yes, they will, if it's safe, and that means if traffic allows that to happen. Right now, though, basically just kind of keeping up with what's going on down there. Other vehicles getting out of the carpool lane for this vehicle driving very aggressively this evening. Perhaps they know there's a chase going on. It has been going on for some time. possibly imagine that they know that there's a chase. Also, that light from the helicopter probably alerting some of these folks on the freeway, hey, something's up out here. And then, of course, California Highway Patrol in the distance, but actually gaining. So that's probably part of the puzzle there as well. Right now, it looks like we're starting to get over to at least the center lanes. And so maybe getting off the freeway once again. And we're in the Hacienda Heights area. And the speeds up into the hundreds once again.
Stu, we have been covering some serious ground today, going from Southgate down to Orange County and now back up to the City of Industry. I mean, at some point, this person has to run out of gas. And that's what we were talking about earlier when they were making just some possible short stops or just pauses, if you will, maybe taunting police. We have no idea. But, I mean, we're getting there, I think, pretty
well.
We
have no idea. Yeah, we have no idea how much gas is in this car.
Exactly.
But if we were to assume that this Honda Accord, which is a gas sipper, is at a full tank, that's going to be 400 plus miles. They're not close to 400 miles, but that could be. I mean, we don't know where they are in the gas tank, so we don't know. Obviously, they've had some fast driving that cuts down the gas mileage, but you would think after almost 3 hours that he would certainly be below the half.
Sure, and going as fast as he is now,
yeah.
That's not certainly going to help his gas mileage there. Stu, where are we now?
We're in the Hacienda Heights area, but we will be in Roland Heights here in just a moment. This pursuit just continues to get more and more bizarre. This is the first time we've seen these higher speeds. Again, don't know what changed. All of a sudden, this driving much more aggressively. The California Highway Patrol, they're the ones with the light. There's the helicopter right there. They took this over from the Sheriff's Department pretty early on when it was down in the Orange County area. And who was chasing to begin with is going to be the Southgate PD. They were behind this car for a long time before they actually relinquished the pursuit over to the California Highway Patrol. Now he's moving well over to the right, but I would just guess that is just to pass vehicles. So I'm kind of always hoping that he's going to get off the freeway and resume that kind of less dangerous driving where he's just, it sounds so bizarre to say it, just running red lights at a slow speed. But right now we're still not quite, we're about 90 miles an hour. We're still eastbound on that 60 freeway. Roland Heights is the area, and this just continues to just go and go and go. California Highway Patrol, they're not going to be able to pit it. They're not going to be able to throw any spike strips out in front of it, especially because of all the other traffic that's out here this evening, and there is a lot. But this vehicle weaving in and out, taking advantage of every opening, every ability to get around another vehicle, using the center divider, using the far emergency lanes, and of course just bobbing and weaving as it would be. Right now, though, at least we're not seeing any agitated activity inside that car, but the California Highway Patrol still behind it and in the air, and this making our way eastbound right now at very high speeds on the 60 freeway.
And we're getting some new information right now from our assignment desk. Now, earlier in this pursuit, just hours ago, we were getting some information, just the fact that this car is registered out of South LA. We don't know if the driver, in fact, the person driving this car is the actual registered owner, but we do know that the car is registered in South LA. We're just getting information right now into our newsroom that the CHP has received word from Southgate Police Department, who initiated this pursuit earlier this afternoon at 5:30 or so, earlier than that. They believe they know the identity of this driver now. So is this a stolen vehicle? We don't know. Is this person driving his or her vehicle? We don't know. But as you see on the passenger side there, that person's leg is back on the dash, as we were saying earlier. We don't know if that means they're kind of relaxed mode, or we don't know what's going on inside that car. We don't know if they're in good terms or bad terms. We don't know if that was fighting, though, either. We can't hear what they're saying. It could have been tickling. You don't know? I mean, we have no idea what's going on inside this car at this point.
Well, we also have information that this driver is out on parole at this point in time, so that shows a little desperation on his part. There's a police officer in front of this vehicle. I can tell you that maybe this victim is under severe stress and threat. I mean, you have no idea. The driver could be telling her what to do. And when you see somebody with their legs up on the dash, that may be something that I mean, we don't know if he has a weapon, and maybe he's threatening her to do something like this, but you see this vehicle up above.
Wow.
Stu, take it from here.
So close to that vehicle, right? Wow.
That was not CHP,
was it? That was a police
it?
vehicle, was it?
That right there was just a vehicle from the sheriff's department making its way on the freeway. We're going to be it just happened to be there. Trust me, I don't think that officer or that deputy was planning on putting himself in that situation. Definitely hugging the wall right there, and it looks like he's basically on an off ramp. Is this his plan? High speeds, sharp turns right there. We'll keep an eye on it. He's making his way to the bottom of the off-ramp. This would be a spot where the California Highway Patrol could take advantage of a pit maneuver if they were right there, but not at that high speed. So lucky. We've seen so many of those close calls and just blending into traffic. I can tell you that we are on Nogales. We're on Nogales right now, and it looks like we are southbound on Nogales. So weaving in and out of traffic, and again, Roland Heights is the city we are definitely in, and southbound on Nogales. And you can see this vehicle not really slowing down that much. Sharp turn, making his way into another parking lot. This has always been very weird that he likes to cut through these parking lots. It doesn't really save anything. It puts a lot of other people, like those folks right there.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Might see
this is something
first
new.
time we've seen it.
There we go.
Foot bail.
Okay, the passenger stays behind.
And he's out for a run, and of course it's going to be in a spot where we're having a little bit of difficulty. But that being said, California Highway Patrol right there behind him, and it does look like he ran into a store. And you got another officer, very smart move, but hopefully he stops watching that back door as well. But the fact that the officers are that close behind, and look at it, look at all the folks deciding it's time to leave. There they go. Everybody running out of the 99-cent store. There you go. But you can wonder what's going on inside that store. And you know, you did bring up something very interesting. That person, now that we have information, parolee at large, that makes things a little bit more desperate. That person definitely going back to jail one way or another. And if he has a weapon, this could be something very, very
And you wonder
different.
if that's the case with all those people pouring out of there. Is there a way to see the vehicle there and see if the victim is still in the car? It looks like she stayed behind. That's the vehicle there. You see the passenger side door is open, and she's sitting there.
The passenger side door is open.
She's safe, at least at this point.
Right. And again, victim, somebody that was along for the ride, whatever the deal is, she's still in the vehicle right there. You can see the officer. All right, we're gonna. You can see them all. There's a lot of shoppers in that 99-cent store.
Police are asking them to come
but you
out.
can see other officers actually out there with weapons out. You can see a lot of weapons out, and so you got to wonder what is going on inside that store right now. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything as far as weapons seen or something along those lines. You can see it looks like a store employee calling other people to make their way out of the store.
There's
you can see
somebody
them through
there
the window.
with something in his hand. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It looked like
that's just a customer. Customer.
Okay.
And you can see a number of officers making their way into that.
Well, if you saw the body language earlier, you saw somebody come out and speak with officers looking to give them information. Now you see the officers on the left side, they're going aisle by aisle. This is a 99-cent store in Roland Heights. This is the end of a police pursuit that's gone on for nearly 3 hours. The suspect bails, wanted for assault on the passenger inside the vehicle, left the car, went into this 99-cent store. We understand that the woman, the passenger, the victim, appears to be remaining in the vehicle at this point in time, which is a good thing. And obviously, they'll attend to her as soon as they can.
Yeah, let's just hope that everyone who was inside this 99-cents only store gets out safely. But a bit of encouraging news that we spoke about just minutes ago was that police now, or investigators now, know the identity of this person. So the person who was the driver of this car and then ran into the 99-cent store just now, we know the identity of the person. And it's encouraging because before they had no idea. And if you have no idea if this person runs, there's no way getting to that person. But if you have an identity.
Hey, speaking of 99-cent stores and all that mess, y'all hear about the new thing they passed? Well, I don't want to say it's a law, but it might as well be. Down in Dallas, Texas, they will no longer prosecute you if you're stealing as long as it's $750 or less. Man, they'll put Dollar Trees and 99-cent stores out of business. You can steal like half the store and not even get charged. Crazy. yeah, they said they were tired of keeping people in jail and spending all that money on them when it was like petty theft. But man, you could like go to a car lot and steal a brand new car as long as you do it piece by piece. Other than some like, actual body parts, hood, trunk, that kind of stuff. Other than that, man, you could steal a whole entire car. Because there ain't a single piece on most cars that's $750 for one item. Take the motor down piece by piece, steal a wheel at a time. Do it one piece, like Johnny Cash said, one piece at a time. And then, like, take it home, put it back together. Man, you got you a car. I mean, just kind of like thinking outside the box, but, Yep, they got him. Turn the audio on for a minute.
Know what's going on. They basically they had their weapons out, but now it looks like she's just in that front seat. We haven't heard the call yet for an ambulance. We're going to keep an ear on that. I know that Walnut, one of the vehicles is there. Walnut Sheriff's Department has been notified. They're going to be here on scene as well. I think they were going to use them if this would have turned into some sort of standoff. But you can see suspect in custody. That passenger inside that car right now in that front seat. We don't see any aid being rendered, but it's definitely no movement either. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. Going to be sensitive to that situation. And but definitely that one in custody. There's the driver that led us on this pursuit for hours this afternoon and evening. Now going in the back of that squad car, as you said, parolee at large. Definitely going to probably be going back to some jail time. And again, because there's no movement and I don't see any aid being rendered, I'm going to stay a little bit wider until we figure out what's going on with the situation inside that Honda. That victim still, or that female, she was a victim of an assault.
You got to feel for her. I mean, she has had quite the ordeal. She has been in this vehicle.
Man, these announcers and whatever get on my nerves. She had an ordeal and like she's some big victim crap, man. That's stupid. But good thing Stu's got that wide angle lens, man. Did you see her earlier? I mean, dang, that girl got like bigger hams on her than what I would have for like Christmas to feed the family. I mean, she a big girl. So Stu got to get that like wide angle deal, so he can see it all. And then that guy's going to use his defense in court that he got this like annoying girl, some chick that just wouldn't shut up till he took her to the 99-cent store. But he didn't know where it was at because, he'd been like in jail for a while. So the town's changed, since he got out of jail. He on parole. So he didn't know where the 99-cent store was at. So he had to like drive around. She's all yelling and screaming. He wanted to pull over, man, but she won't let him. She's like, no, I don't care if it's highway patrol or who's behind us. Forget it. You're taking me to the 99-cent store. You can deal with him later. And it's like, she's like I said, a big girl, man. She'd crack him upside the head with one of them big old ham hocks, man. It should knock him out. He'll have to go back to jail just to get like some free medical or something. He'd be all tore up. So man, you can't just look at it as his fault, man. You just never know. I mean, it's possible. What can I say? Yeah, they all running out of there. Them people are running just because they stole a bunch of stuff, man. That's like the perfect time to go shoplifting in the 99-cent store. Cops ain't gonna bother you. They too busy with the suspect and his, big, like, female version of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. They deal with that. So you can just run in there and just, like, grab everything. Just run. But, I mean, you can have, like, a whole armload of stuff and what are they going to charge you with? Like $10? I mean, still. Not like a big deal, But a crime of opportunity, though, nevertheless. Nah, man, cops gonna have enough trouble, man. like I say, that's a big girl. I don't know if she'll fit in some of them cop cars, them like smaller ones. I mean, that was a full-size Honda. Man, it's like bad deal, man. Yeah, hang on. Let's see what they say here.
Called 911 to say the male driver allegedly was assaulting the woman inside his car. The chase went all the way to Seal Beach after Southgate, going through Buena Park, through all these different cities in Orange County, in North Orange County, Garden Grove, Fountain Valley, Huntington Beach, Seal Beach, and
hey, he assaulted her. I wonder if that was kosher assault. Just kind of wondered. Oh, she's unresponsive.
More coverage.
That's going to be our news crew. We'll have a live report from the ground coming up here on KCAL 9. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come.
All right, they going on break, man. That's like Stu said, man. Don't put your feet up on the dash. It's like not good, man. Now, they get her out of the Honda. The cop will have to run into the 99-cent store. Like, I think it's one of them stores, you know, it's got some food they sell. So you can get some of that fake butter in a 99-cent store and, like, grease her up. And, you know, maybe she'll, like, slide out. They open the door on one side, open the door on the other, and then you run like the football players, you know, when they're hitting the tackling dummy. Man, she'll pop right out of there. They're going to have, like, the fire department or whoever, like they had in them old movies where they got that big net thing they'd catch you with when you jump off the high building. The one that looked like a trampoline. You know, they got one of them to catch her when she come out the other side. Yeah, crazy, man. Some butter or some of that fake olive oil they use, you know, whatever. Something to lube it up so they can slide her out of there. Otherwise, they're going to need the jaws of life, and they don't want to go that far. I mean, that was a good Honda, man. They don't want to, like, tear it up. You got to think outside the box. But really, if you're going to loot a store, man, it's not going to be a 99-cent store. I wouldn't think. I don't know. Interesting to say the least. Yeah, these commercials suck. Alright, I check out the Discord.
Now in custody.
That's right. Customers were running out of this store in Roland Heights just moments ago as a suspect ran inside. But Stu Mandel is overhead with the latest update for us. Stu?
Susie, Jeff, I can tell you this is going to be Colima and Nogales Road in the Roland Heights, and obviously it is a 99-cent store. That suspect right now in the backseat of that Highway Patrol vehicle. We saw it live as the car basically parked out here in a parking lot, and that suspect, parolee at large, ran inside that store. California Highway Patrol first with their vehicles, then following on foot into that store, and we saw a number of customers pouring out. We do know it ended peacefully with that suspect in custody, in cuffs, and now in that car. Now the victim, she's still inside that vehicle. We know that the California Highway Patrol, they are trained with first aid, and we haven't seen any first aid being applied. We also haven't heard anybody talk. There they are. That's what I was waiting for. At least we're seeing some paramedics here on scene right now. Don't know the actual condition, so we're not going to get any much tighter of a shot than we have right now because we don't know for a fact her condition. But I can tell you, LA County firefighters are here on scene right now. That's one paramedic making their way to the car to talk.
Oh, man. Hang on here. I guess that's it. Let me check another link.
County Fire.
Nah, never mind.
Yeah, this is after a day of
right.
many events, as you mentioned.
Well, it looks like it's froze up, so hang on. Try another link here. See if I got anything to work.
pursuit, more than 3 hour pursuit on surface streets and freeways. And now because this scene right here is not over, there's no conclusion right now at this scene. Police there, law enforcement moving in there with that police tape to keep people away and to move those news crews back. So this scene is still ongoing.
Usually in a crime scene, law enforcement would have a little bit of a heads up before the news media gets there, and so they would create a police tape and all that other sort of thing. But because we were following this so closely and got there literally within minutes of this situation, that whole process has not happened yet, which is why we're seeing some of the news crews get so close.
Left and right.
Yeah, I mean, he was driving on sidewalks, going the wrong way, blowing through dozens of red lights and stop signs as well. I mean, there was one point in time he was over 100 miles per hour on the highway.
And this.
All right, I had too many windows open.
And this is probably about 15 minutes ago when we saw this happening. You can see another struggle in.
Nah, Mark, I ain't cold. I'm quite comfortable. But thanks for asking.
There were other points where the passenger door opened up during the pursuit, but we haven't seen much from the passenger side until we saw this. And you see her put her legs back up onto the dash. So we don't know what happened at that point, but we do know that we have heard from officials that this person inside this car right now, on the left side of your screen, the passenger inside the car, the CHP officers have surrounded. It looks like the EMTs have arrived, their paramedics have arrived now. We'll be taking this woman, but as the last thing we heard about her was that she is unresponsive and she is bleeding but breathing. So they're going to obviously
well, you see a gurney there now.
and
see
take
that?
her. That's exactly what I was saying, sir.
But, you know, what's interesting here is this is the suspect vehicle.
Bleeding but breathing. Okay.
With the suspect in the back, and as you mentioned, here comes that gurney. We're going to see her taken out. There's enough officers there that can certainly help out in this situation. It's kind of unfortunate they're up against that other vehicle in this situation after all of this driving around.
Man, that ain't blood. That's ketchup. Man, she's eating like a hamburger or something, or whatever she got from that Wiener Schnitzel place. You know, she got ketchup on her, man.
To walk on her own, and you know, when they said she was bleeding, of course, the worst always kind of comes to mind. Sad to say, but that's true. But it does seem like she is at least coherent and was able to at least walk with some assistance over to the gurney. And we didn't see any, you know, real first aid being administered. So right now, maybe in shock, maybe minor.
Hey, she always got to walk slow, man. I mean, look at her. She ain't like running no marathons. So that ain't no current injury. She just big. You know, when you big like that, you don't move all that fast. I mean, like I said, remember the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters? He done a lot of damage, but it was slowly.
But California Highway Patrol doing an amazing job keeping up and in the end getting that suspect in custody without a long standoff. Right now, though, the suspect has left the scene, and you can see this parking lot now a crime scene with a lot of activity here this evening.
And we know the suspect is an ex-parolee, so obviously that shows some of the desperation that he had behind the wheel. Didn't want to go straight back to jail, but it certainly ends that way, and that's where he's going to end up in just a few minutes. He'll be booked and be spending the night in the county jail.
Yeah, as we mentioned, we have no idea what he was in for before, and you know, obviously it's going to be a lot of different charges this time around. You know, among many other things, it looks like the passenger is being loaded into the ambulance now. Among other things, obviously, felony evasion and also domestic violence, as far as we know. But there are other things, obviously, because why was he running?
Dang, they put her in an ambulance. I swear I just seen the back bumper come off just a couple inches from hitting the ground. Dang, she's a big one. Hey, what can I say? She'll play victim as long as possible. She probably the reason he went to jail the first time. He come out and, like, they was going down the road, and he's like, man, I just can't deal with being with her no more. I'd rather go back to the pen instead of deal with her. It's just not worth it. Freedom is not worth it if I got to deal with this. So lock me up. So he gonna go back to prison where he can get some rest and, like, chill out. And she's going to go wherever. She like, what time is it out there? 8:30? Oh, she said, hurry up and get me to the hospital, man. Like now, you know, that snack cart come around at 9. So that's it for like the evening. So she's like yelling at them ambulance dudes, man, like, floor it, go around that fire truck, you know, whatever. You know, we ain't got much time here. We got like 20 minutes. And I ain't gonna have no snack. So, chop, chop. And if we can't make it in time, at least stop by like Jack in the Box or one of them, you know. Gotta have something. Yeah, pick her up on a date, man. You need like one of them great big U-Hauls, you know, the big one. Wow. Man, it's women like her that would have kept my bakery going, you know. My ghetto in the hood bakery. He didn't do muffin. Man, that would work. Like, put one of them up in the hood, then you have everybody come around. Instant success. Well, guys, looks like that's the end of this one. So he's going back to jail. She's going to the hospital. And that's about it, I guess. Bunch of people stole stuff from 99-cent store. You know. Another day in California. It only seems odd to us that don't live there. Like, ones that are there, you know. They just look at it as whatever. Yeah, man, she was threatening him. She was nagging him and yelling and screaming, and it just wasn't worth it. Like I said, he'd rather go back to prison. At least there he can get some rest. But yeah, it was fun while it all lasted, so take it easy, guys. And I will catch you guys whenever something else happens. But remember, Friday, I will be streaming live PD. And Saturday, most likely. So, I always got to have a little bit of fun, you know. Why not? So, take it easy, guys. Stay safe. And I'll catch you all on the next stream. And if you do something stupid, make sure you go live and let me know. And then it might be a little bit more worth it. But don't do nothing stupid unless you're going to record it and send me a link. Otherwise, it's a waste. So, take it easy, guys. One other thing real quick before I completely get out of here. I want to post a link to my backup, well, my second channel. I don't really want to call it a backup, but it can be used for that. And within the next, I don't know, day or so, I'm not going to say exactly whenever I get to it, I will make a short video, well, or however long it takes, on the other channel there, on the U.S. Navy doing some UFO stuff. Drafting new guidelines for reporting it and things of that sort. So I'm going to make a video on that here in the next day or so. Plus I got a podcast coming up beginning of the week, and I'll put that on there as well. So all that fun stuff. So if you're into that kind of stuff, jump over there, subscribe. All the links for everything are in the description of all my videos anyway. Jump over on the Discord. You know, all that type of stuff. So, take it easy, guys, and I'll catch you later. It's been fun.